I have had an athletic background my whole life that informed a lot of who I am, my personality, how I move about the world. So logos and mascots and putting on a jersey has always meant a lot to me. The pride that they have to be a part of something, knowing I have a role and I have value and I have a personal space that I occupy, but I'm a part of a larger thing.
We educate kids in educational facilities. We build hospitals and fertility clinics so that they can have babies. We have fire stations, police stations that help keep families safe.
I originally thought maybe I can work in the medical field, and then it was not a good fit for me. I don't do, blood and guts and stuff, but I felt like I could still give back and still take care of people in a different way.
Being the first one in my family to graduate from college, I understand the importance that education has on my future. And now being on this side and be able to support education, whether it's K-12 or higher ed, and the impact that has, providing these opportunities for students is extremely rewarding and fulfilling.
I've learned how much architecture and the power of space and the power even in the process of what we do can really bring wellness to a community and really make a community thrive.
I had started with a firm that was smaller, mainly commercial franchisee work, and didn't recognize at the time that it really truly wasn't filling the cup, and had an opportunity to then work with a different partner who did commercial and civic work. And that's where I really found my passion. What we do, we have to be great stewards of funds because these folks may not get an opportunity to touch their building for another 50 plus years. And so that really hit me of paying attention, truly listening to what they need, and developing a concept that could help them for not only what they do on a daily basis, but for generations to come and for the community that they serve.
What we do is the backdrop of people's lives. It's where people are born, where they're healed, where they're educated and trained. In higher education, it's where people are making many of the decisions for their life, the direction of their life. It's where many of the leaders of tomorrow are trained.
I am the son of a public educator. I'm the husband of a public school teacher. I'm a product of public school education. I believe that what happens in public schools really does change the world. What we do is a place where students are going to go to learn and teachers are going to go to teach. And that's what really matters to me.
I love working with people who are truly trying to take the fear out of healthcare. We design amazing spaces for clinicians and doctors, and so we're changing their experience as well.
Where I grew up is a small town, and not everybody had a chance to get an education. In my own family, my father only made it up to the 8th grade. I have the chance today to help work with the best in the business to make sure that everybody has an equal opportunity in education.
I remember a time that I was visiting my mother-in-law in a hospital, and I mentioned to my wife as we're riding up the elevator how much I hated being in hospitals. I started to see that there was an opportunity there to touch people at the kind of their worst moments of their life, or sometimes even at the best moments of their life. And then also kind of, later in my career, have a son who developed some really, really bad mental health issues, and the kind of spaces that he was having to go into to receive that treatment and that care was actually not that great. Having a part and a hand in influencing the spaces that people experience these things or deliver care is really impactful and moving.
I was working with another firm, and at that time I was working in the healthcare division, and I was working on a project, and it was Ronald McDonald House. One of the young people that I was working with, however, passed away during his treatment, and that broke me to my core. I knew at that moment that I wanted to serve kids. I wanted to be able to come alongside them and partner with them in some way. My why is serving my community, to give back to those that have taken care of so many of the people that I know and I love.
So I lost my grandmother at the age of 9, and back in the late 70s and early 80s, hospital spaces were really scary places. And as a 9-year-old, and having been in and out of hospitals for my grandmother for several years, I was experiencing the smells of cleaning products. I was experiencing doctors and nurses rushing around. I felt like they were speaking in a different language. A few years after I went to this architecture firm, and I had the opportunity to walk into a brand new breast and imaging cancer center for women, I looked around at a space that felt welcoming, it felt domestic, it felt hospitable. That's when I realized the difference that healthcare architecture makes. If myself and my family when I was a child had experienced that space, I would not have had a fear of hospitals. And I'm hoping that other patients and other families and loved ones can experience these spaces that we're creating within the healthcare environment, and that they find them just as comforting as I did when I first walked into that new cancer center.
I've seen up close and personal what an education can mean to a person, how it can change their future, how one teacher caring for and uplifting a student can impact them forever.
To know that we're making a difference in their lives and their futures is so heartwarming and fulfilling to know that that's what I get to do for my job.
So it's very rewarding to be able to know that you've made that difference and really show that you care about people and give back in that way.